Hello, everybody, and welcome to the live stream live. I am your host, Joshua Schubart, and I hope you're having a beautiful Tuesday evening, or if you're not on the East Coast, morning or afternoon, or I don't know where you are internationally, but just hi. Thanks for being here. We are a bit early today. We are about an hour early, and that's fine because it's my show. We can do whatever we want. But my really awesome guest, Jenny Klein. She has some ultra top secret TV stuff that she's not allowed to speak about yet, so don't ask her, that she needs to get to work on, which is totally normal. We are in an industry of crunchy time and having to get things done quickly. So we're going to do the show in reverse. We are going to do the interview first, and then I will get into what I've been watching, what I've been reading, and how I've been feeling. So without further ado, let me just take a sip. Oh, right. We are on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram Live all at the same time. If you have any questions or any comments, we will be more than happy to answer them or comment on them, as long as they're not fucking ridiculous or hyperly sexual. I think that's what I usually say. All right, so I met Jenny many years ago working on the Tick. She has helped bring to life some of the best nerdy shit you've seen on TV. The Witcher season 1, Jessica Jones, Supernatural, the Tick, non-comic booky, supernatural stuff, Daisy Jones and the Six, which was an incredible show that got canceled for no fucking reason, and the Thing About Pam, which was with Renee Zellweger. Holy shit! Based on an actual story. It was a really fun miniseries that I liked a lot too. Jenny is a writer and a producer, showrunner, executive producer. She wears many hats, and she's incredibly talented and just a lovely person. And I can't wait for you to meet her. And here she is, Jenny Klein. Hi.
Hi. Hey, Josh. Nice to see you.
How are you? Good to see you too. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. This is really fun.
Of course, yeah. So I'm just gonna dive right into my first question, if that's okay. So how did you get into the industry, and how did you know specifically that you wanted to write as opposed to any of the other parts of it?
I kind of always wanted to be a writer since I was a little kid. I just wasn't like TV and film yet. Like I wanted to be a poet, Josh. Pays lots of money.
Oh, it does.
I just loved English. I loved writing. And then when I was in high school, I learned that movies are written first, that someone writes them. And I started to pay more attention to that. And I went to Barnes and Noble. Not sure those still exist, but
there's like one by me still. So yeah, I think they still exist.
There is? I haven't seen that. That makes me so happy.
Yeah, so there's no more Borders, which is sad, but there's Barnes and Noble left. Not a lot, but they're left.
Yeah, remember when we were mourning like the mom and pop bookshops that Barnes and Noble killed, and now Barnes and Noble are like, oh, Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, there's an indie shop that just opened up right by my house like a year ago. So it seems like, because apparently our generation wants like boutiques again, which is great, because I do. Like, I want to help out people that want to start their own businesses and stuff, because that's essentially what we do all the time. We like create a new thing, and then, you know, it's like its own business or its own small city or whatever it is. And then, yeah, so it's nice. It's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Uh, no, no, please. I mean, I'm all about. I was just thinking when you were saying that, like, yeah, when we make a show, it's like, please be a patron. Like, please watch. There could be more of it so that my shop can stay open. That is what it feels
Exactly.
like. Like, share, share, share. So yeah, I got my first screenplay at the screenplay section, which was Memento.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, of course. It's like, oh, you start with alternative narrative, and I loved it, and I I just started to want to be a screenwriter and look into how do you do that? Like, can I go to college for this? Like, maybe I won't major in English, and I applied to USC Film School for the screenwriting program for BFA, and could not believe when I got in. It was like my dream school. And then my parents were going to actually let me move from Skokie, Illinois to Los Angeles at age 18, only under the guise of college. And that got me out here. And so now I know things can be a bit more remote, but at the time it was like the biggest change, the biggest chance you can give yourself is to actually move to LA or move to New York from like the middle of
Yeah.
the country. And so I got over that big hump early. And at USC, you in the film school, like you write a lot. So I got really used to writing on these tight TV deadlines where like now in writers' rooms, you have to write a whole episode script. You have like 5 days. And that got me really used to that because there's all these different classes and you're turning in material for them. Um, and then after that, when I graduated, it was the writer's strike.
Oh,
Uh,
the first one there, yeah. Well, not the first one, but what was that? 08, right?
yeah, it was the first one to
Yeah.
me, first one that
Yeah.
affected me, therefore the biggest. And I, I, I needed work, and like health insurance, and so I worked at LA County Hospital for the chief of cardiology. Um, in body computing, who's Dr. Leslie Saxon, who's like totally brilliant. I think she was like the only female chief of cardiology at the time. And that got me thinking in all different sort of side
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
ways. Yeah, she
Yeah.
was like implanting devices and people's hearts connected to your phones before there were iPhones. And it was great. And then after a couple years, it was like, I'm rising up a ladder. I'm not sure. I want to be on because I'm like working at a hospital. People are dying, and I'm like, I'm writing my feature. So I tried to get a writer's PA job, and I got one. I wound up on Supernatural on a CW show, and I worked there for 8 years.
Yeah, and you worked your way up in that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, just, like, looking at all your credits from the beginning, specifically on that show to where you ended on that show, you basically had your beginning and middle part of your career on that show, and that, and it from what I've heard about it, it was an incredible set, it was an incredible room, and it was a wonderful show, and, um, not a lot of people get that opportunity to kind of burst through their like mid-level career, like I guess like not like jitters, but it's like it's like a mid-level writer is here that is like a term that I hear all the time, where like a lot of people get stuck there for a while.
Mhm.
So that was really cool that you got to kind of like go all the way up, and then you just kept going, which I think is which is admirable and really wonderful. We don't know each other exceptionally well. We know each other pretty well, right? But I've gotten to know you more through your work before I met you than than I realized, because some of the best things I've ever watched in my life are things that you have either written or worked on.
Mhm.
Um, like Jessica Jones was one of the most like informative things that I've ever seen. In the Marvel world, gritty as hell. Jessica Jones specifically has like always been one of my favorite characters, and I've never seen her done justice, right? Like we've never seen her done well before, or like even maybe ever before. And then to have this show come out that was just so intensely amazing, and for my wife to be able to see something that she could intensely connect to, it was just it was an incredible thing to see and to experience.
So you guys
That was
like
the
the Bendis comics? Like before the show even came out, you were
so
reading
so
them?
I did. I'm like huge into comics. I'm a big like nerd guy, right? But
Great.
and I like pull my wife along, kind of like kicking and screaming, but she's there. She's there watching. She's not going to read, but she's at the point now where, like, if things aren't not good, because I don't like to say things aren't good, but if like things aren't like hitting properly, like she's like, what the fuck is this? They would never do this. I'm like, oh yeah, you understand now. Like
Mhm. Yeah.
it feels good. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah. So I came on season 2, and so I think I had a similar experience as you where I was I was on Supernatural, was on my 3rd season on staff, and I was looking to make the leap to another show because 'cause I'd been on so long, and Jessica Jones was my favorite show. Like, it dropped on Netflix, and I really resonated with the character, and then when the staffing opportunity came up for that, I was just a shot in the dark, and, the creator, showrunner, Melissa Rosenberg, like, read my pilot, my original script, and I got a staffing meeting and was like, "Holy crap, I'm talking about my favorite characters with, like, the creator of the show," and I got to go on this show that yeah, it was just like my dream job. Like, that's a moment where I don't think that's happened again, where it's like, that was my favorite show and I actually got to write on it.
Yeah.
Um, and how lucky am I? And then Rael Tucker was also EPing that season and became an incredible mentor to me. I went on to become her number 2 on her show Sacred Lies, and like and working up that way. And Melissa Rosenberg hired like only female directors that season, which was really special for me to see. Just because that doesn't happen often,
No, it
where
doesn't. No.
there's just a lot less women directors, like by the numbers. So it was really cool. I was really stoked.
That's awesome. That for me so far, that was the Tick. Like, I grew up with the Tick. I watched the cartoon. The Tick made me feel normal. Like, I don't know if that is an odd thing to say, but um, I mean, for people that don't know, you and Ben Edlund are married to each other, and I got to work on the Tick with him and with you, and it was an experience that I had to pretend that I didn't care about for almost the entire time that I was on it, so that I could do my job. Um, Otherwise, I would have been like crying all the time, like just like telling Ben how much I love him and admire him, and like all this shit that like people do all the time at all the like comic cons and stuff. And while that's true, it was an honor to work with every single person that worked on that show, and to get the feedback from the people that love the show, having the same reaction that I did when I was watching the show was incredibly special. And you don't get those types of things a lot. You're absolutely right. Like, I've gone and I worked on other stuff, and it's not the same reaction. People are like, that was fun, I like that, but like, I've had fans tell me that they watch the show like once a month because it makes them feel good and special and not alone. There was a person who told me that the show made them not kill themselves. Like, it was like, there's like because of how the show is and what the show represents and just the IP of it, things like that. And that's Jessica Jones for people. That's like Supernatural for people.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah, and it's like so special and really important. And when I get like frustrated, or like I'm like, why the fuck didn't I like book that one thing, or you know, I'm not getting enough auditions this week, like all the shit that runs through my head. I'm like, you got to do the tick. Like you'll get to do more cool stuff. You may never do anything like the tick again, but you might. And just it's important, and that's why you do it, is because it changes you and it changes other people.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah. That's wonderful. Does Ben know that?
I don't know, but I'll tell him.
Yeah, tell him.
Yeah,
Griffin Newman, who played Arthur, was a
yeah,
little bit like that, where he really loved the Tick and Arthur, and yeah, got to play him, and has such respect for the character, and just completely embodied him. And it was just such a joy to see him like reverberating with um, his own joy to be part of it.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Everyone really
that's yeah.
did. Yeah,
Yeah. It reminded me of a Tick line, "You're not crazy, Arthur, you're going sane in a crazy world," and that it makes you feel the opposite of gaslit.
it does. It does.
Except
It really does. Like, especially now where like everything is so fucking crazy in the world all the time, and the news is making you crazy. Like I there's nothing really on TV or even things that we're consuming in media in general that just is joyful, right? Like it's all like I love The Last of Us, right? I fucking love it. Like I love that. I love Foundation. I love these shows. Like I love The Handmaid's Tale. Like I love all this shit. But it's like it's all just like we're gonna stab you in the brain and heart every single episode, and that's great. But just like pure unbridled joy I haven't felt in a long time watching anything.
especially from a
Um,
superhero.
yeah, especially from a superhero, it has all been dark as hell and really gritty and bloody, which I understand is everyone wants to try and put their own like more realistic spin on these heroes. But part of the being a hero and part of the hero ness is that they are otherworldly. You aspire to be them. They're just like the good like personified, like even Spider-Man, right, who is totally flawed, um is still trying his best, and he's still trying to be positive even through all of his pain and everything that happens to him. um and you totally understand why the Punisher is the way that he is, but you also totally understand why Peter Parker is the way that he is. And we need more Peter Parker-y things. I think now we certainly do.
Yeah, especially when we're looking to TV to escape a bit.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Ooh. Speaking of that, did you know that toss a coin to your Witcher was going to go fucking crazy like that? Did you have any
No,
idea?
Josh, no, I didn't. I can't. That was so crazy. It was like I knew I wanted to. Let's just tell you the story of the song.
Go, yeah, go ahead.
I I knew I wanted to have Jaskier, who's the bard in the show, and it was the first episode where he appears, which was really cool and important. There's like a lot of Witcher fans, and he's like beloved. And I wanted to do a song where he's kind of like encapsulating the theme and like the trajectory and like establishing his relationship with Geralt. And Lauren Historic is the incredible showrunner and was cool enough to be like, go for it. Like she's the most like inspiring and um, just wonderful people I've ever worked for. And she was like, do it, like write it into the script. And um, I, I, I remembered that, The Witcher is it's called they paid with coins. It's like, give me coin. It's like in the game and stuff. And
Yeah,
um, the short story it's based on talks about this valley. It's the valley where it's like a lush valley where a lot grows, of the Valley of Plenty, and the Witcher's always getting ripped off. So I was like, toss a coin to your Witcher, O Valley of Plenty. And then just had a lot of fun writing these it was kind of amusing myself, I didn't think
Yeah.
any, like I made like an Elf on the Shelf reference. It was like just being silly and having fun, which was like, that was a really fun show. That's also why I loved it. Seeing, like, I love Game of Thrones, but like The Witcher doesn't take itself as seriously. It has a really unique tone. And so I literally wrote the whole thing into the script, and then Sonia Belousova and Jonah Ostinelli are the incredible composers,
Yeah.
um, and they did many different versions of the song, and they wrote this like rock hit. It was just totally incredible to hear it, and get to make that with them, to have that be. I mean, I didn't write the music. Like, they made it sound really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And my little song about elves, and then I just thought, it was just, I didn't even know it was going to come out. The show hadn't aired yet, and I was traveling with Ben. We were like in Europe, and my friends my friend texted me, like, her husband was on iTunes and was like, toss a coin to your Witcher. Is that like, is that your, like, that's number one on iTunes right now? And I was
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah.
And Sonia was freaking out, and I guess they had dropped the song like before the whole show dropped, and so I was like, oh, the song's out, and then all the fans were catching on, and so like watching that in real time and being like, I wish I was a musician, but having any association with like a song of that import was super cool and really unexpected. And I'm really proud, and I'm so happy that Toss a Coin to Your Witcher became like part of the lexicon. Like, I see it at bars sometimes. It's like, toss a coin to your bartender.
Yeah.
Like, that's like, if I walk away, if I quit now, I'm like, that's really cool that happened.
Yeah, that's joy. That's such joy.
Yeah.
Like, just there were thousands and thousands and thousands of people that sang it online, and there were covers and YouTube videos, and
I've
like,
watched them.
yeah, there, I'm sure you have. I've watched as many as I could. Like, it made me so happy to hear it and to see it. Like, I'm huge into The Witcher. I played all of the games. Like, it was such a cool thing for me. And also because the source material is so difficult that, like, first of all, kudos to everyone that worked on that. It To put everything together in a way that made sense and was a cohesive story that made sense. Fuck yeah. Like, the fact that you could do that was incredible. I mean, of course you can. You're all fucking hyper talented, but like, it's very, like, the I'm not trying to like crap talk the books or anything, but like, the books are a little muddy, right? So just to have that, just to have a clarity of story, which we had in the games, to see it happen. And like, also with Henry Cavill is just fucking perfect. Like, just everything, it went off so well. And then to have this song that was like D&D, like,
Yeah.
to me it was D&D. Like, I still
Yeah.
play D&D. So like, to like have a bard singing a fucking song in a tavern, and it's all a lie, and like, it's all
Right.
like, yeah, and it's perfect. Like, it's so perfect because it hits so many fandoms that like understand what that is, and then people that don't even know what that is are like, oh, that's fun, I like it, and it pulls people in that maybe wouldn't have been pulled in before. So it's exciting. Yeah.
Well, I didn't realize that you played the games and read the books.
Oh yeah, I'm a big nerd, man. Like, I know that I'm like burly and bearded and have a deep voice, but I'm a huge gamer. I play D&D, I play Magic cards. This computer that I'm using, I made it. So like, yeah, I've like, comic books, it's been my, like, my refuge for my whole life. So yeah.
You get it. Oh,
I, I
yeah.
do.
Yeah, I mean, and I have to say, like, the whole vision for The Witcher, like, was Lauren Schmidt Historic. Like, she had such a plan, and it was really inspiring to get behind. And I just didn't want to let her down with the second episode. And she's been working on it for so many seasons, and it's been getting better and better. I'm just really proud. I'm really proud and grateful I got to be a part of like the Witcher world and the Witcher fandom, similar to like my time with Marvel and with Supernatural, where like when you were talking about there's just shows being really meaningful to people, like it's like that would have Supernatural would have been my favorite show if I had had a chance for it to become like my Jessica Jones. But then I was working on it, and then I was like, this would be my favorite show if I weren't on it. And now you're just seeing how the sausage is made. But
Right.
I was, oh my God, the Supernatural. I don't know if you're familiar with the Supernatural fandom, but it's like a really incredible
They're
family.
fantastic.
And
Yeah.
I saw how meaningful that show was to so many people. Like I've been to the cons, talked to like families, like mothers watching it with their daughters, who are now old enough to watch it and are still watching it. And I just like I and other writers on it just took it really seriously. It's just not to be taken lightly how much a show can
No.
one.
My father-in-law literally watches that show every day. He like so wherever it's rerunning, he'll just literally like he doesn't care and I've told him like we can watch it all chronologically. Like he's not sure if he's seen it all. Like he's like I don't know if I've seen it in the right order and I don't care. Like I just want it like whatever's on, I'm watching it even if I've seen it before and then every once in a while there'll be something I've never seen before and I get
Mm,
really excited. And I'm like, "Oh, interesting." I was like, "You don't care about watching everything chronologically?" And like he was like, "Not really."
hmm,
He was like, "Because I kind of get bits of every story from like every season and because it's like, it's not like serialized, like it's not as procedurally as like a Law and Order is,
mhm,
but the characters are pretty much the same throughout the entire thing. Some die, some come back, some go to hell, some
yes,
go to heaven. Some are chained to a tree for 1,000 years. But like, you can get a which is what cool about the universalism of that show is that you can just kind of like check it out and then watch it for a bit and be like, I kind of get what's going on. Oh, this is still fucking awesome. I don't need to have to see the whole thing, which is, I think, my brain segue is why TV is a little bit different and it kind of feels a little bit different now than it did back when, like I say back, but Supernatural wasn't that long ago. Now that everything is truncated down to 9, 8, 9, 10 episodes, there's no room anymore for characters and storylines and like other things to just kind of breathe.
right.
You can't just walk into a show because if you do, you don't know what the fuck's going on. And then there's almost this um not insecurity, there's this anxiety about like, oh shit, do I have time to watch this show? Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. And it's also, I think part of it is like with, like you mentioned, shows having shorter orders. It's like it can't become the comfort show because part of the comfort show is knowing it's almost like this bottomless well of Supernatural or like Gilmore Girls or, to return to or Parks and Rec because there were so many episodes. And it's like it becomes a fear of like, well, it's going to be over. And then you're watching the same like 8, 15 episodes over and over. It's just, it can't be the same, um, you know, buoy or life raft, I guess.
No, it's true. I mean, like I know that everything can't be the like old sitcom model where it's like 25 episodes and like a Christmas special, but why not? I don't
I
understand. I really don't understand why. Like I just said that out of my mouth and that's just a thing that I've been told for the past 5, 10 years is that no, we can't do that anymore. We don't we don't have time, we don't have the money for that. And it's like, but you have more money than you ever had before. I don't understand. And it's because of the shorter model, because of the only green lighting things for 2 seasons so that no one can renegotiate. It's all of that stuff. Like, the like there's no more like 100 episode bonuses anymore. Like it's you
That
know
would
what I
be,
mean? Like,
that would be, I
yeah,
remember Supernatural hit when it hit like 200 and then eventually 3. And it's like just that there were other shows that were hitting 100 and now it's like it's like a joke. I can't there's yeah, what show will hit 100?
I
That's
don't
like a
know.
show. We
But
won't.
if you look at like The Pit, right? Like that
It's
HBO
so good.
show, it's
Yeah.
so good. But it's the
Yeah.
first show I've seen in a while that it's 15 episodes, right?
Mhm.
Like it's longer than 10 and it was fucking awesome the whole time. And I really hope that people see that that executives see that and they're like, "Oh, people will stick with a show." It's like, "Of course they will." Like,
Yes.
of course they fucking will. Like it's not like people are like, "Oh, it's longer than 9 episodes. Oh, I can't watch this show. It's too many things." It's like nobody says it's too many things.
Yeah. It's more of what you like.
It is, and we're not England. We don't need to have like 3 2.5 hour TV episodes and then it's over. Like, come on.
Yeah. It's like 2 movies. Yeah. I'm with you, Josh.
Yeah. Let's shake some people. Let's be like, give me 20 episodes.
Physically intimidate them.
I'm bigger than you. Just like have me like walk into all your pitch meetings and like I'll just stand very quietly in the back wearing like a very like tight suit and just
You're dressed as Frank.
yeah, I'm dressed as Frank with the fucked up eye. Do you know how long it took my hair to grow back from that fucking haircut?
No, how long?
So literally every day they would reset it, and the first day that I was Frank, I was like talking through hair and makeup, and they were like, "Well, what do you want to do?" And I was like, "I don't know." Like, and we were talking through like who I was and what I was doing, and they're like, "Do you want like a really severe thing, like something that like really sets you apart?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, yeah, fuck it,
Yeah,
whatever."
make me
And
severe.
make me severe, make me fucking crazy to look at. And they were like, all right. So they took my hair, right? And they just pushed it all up like this. And they like shaved it to a 1 all the way up to my
Yeah.
part. So in order to regrow that, it took like a year and a half
Oh
because it was a constant like grow out and relayer and grow out and relayer. It was fun. I like ended up with like a really high and tight fade for like a while, and I looked like a big stupid meathead for a long time. But um, but it really did. Like I remember when I came in for season 2, and I went into costume to like get a costume fitting, like to refit me in my stuff. Like the designer, he like pulled up my costume and like he was like, here's your what did he say? It like blew my fucking mind. He was like, here's your not it's like signature, but it's like, here's your look that everyone knows you for. And I was like, everyone knows Frank, like knows my character. And they're like, yeah, this is his jacket. Like everyone knows Frank's jacket. You have to wear Frank's jacket. And then when the costume changed, I remember I was like very like, are people still gonna recognize Frank? Like his jacket's all gone. It got burnt off his body, but it was fine.
Yeah.
And if we would have gotten more fucking seasons, it would have been great to like see how that would have played out.
Tick was so good. And you were so good in it.
Oh,
And
thank you.
yeah,
Thanks.
yeah. Well, when I had to shave my head for Jessica Jones, it took like 3 years to I'm just kidding. Writers don't have to do that. But you looked really cool, so I hope it was worth it.
It was totally worth it. No, I'm not complaining. Like some of the best lessons I ever learned as an actor came from that show. Just about like how to be in the moment and really fluid. Just because a lot of stuff didn't come until like the morning of shoot. Like Ben and the team were constantly like writing and writing and writing and making everything better and better and better. And I know that for some people it caused some uh, anxiety, but for the actors, like once we understood how this show was gonna go, and once we got to know who Ben is and like who everyone else was, we were just like, all right, fuck it, we're not gonna get pages until we are walking to set sometimes, and we'll just huddle up and bang out our lines and have fun. And it changed how I perform, and it changed how I audition. It changed everything. I used to get so fucked up about that because I didn't want to, mess up the words. I didn't want to mess up the writer's vision, and it just taught me how to do it all faster, to get out of my own head and to just be more authentic. And while it was scary at first, it became such a freedom, because you didn't, it was already there. Like it's already there, right? And people start to know you, and they start to write for you, and they write how you speak and like how you are, and it just like it's all magic. It just all becomes one big pot of majesty. It's just so
Aw.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you guys were so collaborative. Yeah, he was really against the clock and would be writing to the last minute. And it was just such a friendly cast that because it can be difficult, to you just don't have time to prepare the way you'd like. And everyone was game. And then on the well, it can be stressful. It's also like, yeah, you can't be in your own head and it makes you have to just do it. You don't have time to second guess yourself. You can get
And
some really great performances.
sometimes that's the best work. That, I mean, as an actor, that happens. Like, I'm not sure, can you improv write something?
What do you mean?
Like, can you just write something on the fly? Like have you ever had to like have you had to write a scene like in the chair, like do like a instant rewrite, kind of like how actors kind of have to just kind of go on the fly sometimes? Has that ever happened to you?
I have never had to like write a whole scene and then because we're shooting it, so it's like
Yeah.
it's but I've been really lucky where the actors I worked with, if they had any thoughts, we would talk before and then sometimes it would be on the day, which is fine, and we would make changes so then they'd have them. But sometimes it's like you just come up with something better or they will. And I'm always down to, make adjustments like while we're shooting. I've never been a whole scene though, but definitely like lines have changed. And then I just change it in the script, like literally after that take and remember to update it for the
Yeah,
editor.
I'm because everything is much more planned. And I mean, you work in how long is the average room, like lengthwise, pre production?
Like an 8 episode room is usually 20 weeks. It should be.
I mean, that's a lot of time, right? Or is that not a lot of time?
It's tight. It is like
Yeah.
barely enough time.
And
Yeah.
is that for an eight episode hour long, or is that
Oh
half
yeah,
hour?
hour. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's not exactly the same thing, but I feel like it kind of is, right? Because if you got a so that's like an episode every like week, and like
Yeah.
and then you need time to do like notes and rewrites and changes
Mhm.
and like studio approvals and all that shit. So I'm sure, I mean, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I've never been in a room, but is it like you're trying to get it all done as quickly as possible in like the first half of your time so that you can make up for the rest when you get notes back and stuff?
Usually like the first couple weeks is called like a blue sky period where you really want to be open to all the possibilities. But then you really have to drill down with like the season structure and almost what like every episode is generally going to be, and you have to pitch the whole season to the network and they sign off, which is good because then you're not like turning in scripts and they're like, this is new to me, what is this?
Right.
And yeah, you don't, you really just go as fast as you can, and it's tough. Like, there are a lot of rounds because it's like the writer's draft goes to the other writers, and then the person rewrites, and then it has to go to the producers, and then you notes on that, and then sometimes the studio and notes on that, and then the network. So by the time the network gets it, who are the ones that matter the most, their thoughts on what will be shot, and it's how many drafts is that, and how that's uh like weeks of work.
Yeah. Well, so you've worked in all aspects of it now. So like as a showrunner, right, when it's your show, how do you find other people that can write in your voice, right? Because that's a very specific skill set, and I'm sure that you know that's a thing that professional writers know how to do. But
Mhm.
how do you specifically go about, like, because you have a very specific way that you tell a story and you have a very specific voice. um how do you find other people that fit into your pyramid? I don't know what to call it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, before I was a showrunner, when I would join a show, it's like you're hired because you can bring a special sauce, that they saw in your writing, your own voice, that they were excited when they read. And then it's always like, I feel like I've done well because I really pay attention to the showrunners pilot and try to read
Mm,
other stuff they've written. And then it's like, okay, I'm going to do what I do, but I'm going to do it in this lane. Like if I'm left to my own devices, I like really crazy pitches, but it's like, that's not productive because that's not going to be what's right for this show, like there's no superheroes on Daisy Jones and the Six, like people aren't getting murdered right and left. It's just like
right.
a totally different tone. It's like a romance, and I enjoy like adjusting for those different things. So um when I'm running a show, I look for people that are also versatile, and it's not that they have to write exactly like me, but you read the scripts, like you read submissions, you read one or two scripts of everyone you're thinking of hiring. And sometimes if it's like there'll be really glaring, even like glaring turns of phrase where you're like, I don't know if this is going to work. It could be like something really small that happens repeatedly, or just like the way they write action. You're like, I can't reteach them how to write action in the way I write action, or oh, that's a lot of monologues, for just certain ways of doing dialogue. So it's like it wants to not be offensive, basically, but it doesn't have to be exactly like me or anything, because you also want people with different perspectives, walks of life, point of view. And um yeah, it's really like just a pilot that you like keep thinking about, like that was really good, and like I wish
Mm,
I'd written it. Like that's the best, just like a really good voice.
yeah. All right. Cool. That's really cool to hear. I've heard from like other folks that they have to really like like change that, like everything about how they write to really fit into a very like specific, very like narrow
Mhm.
view. Which yeah. Um, and I know that like everything isn't the same everywhere, but yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
cool.
if you're like a comedy writer and you end up on like the pit, you're gonna really be changing. But it's like, I like the dramedy genre wheelhouse, and have I I really like all my scripts have like really grounded emotion, and so I was really excited when I went on Daisy Jones and got to just do something that was like, it was 70s, and it just didn't have almost like the crutches of when you're writing sci-fi or fantasy. Like there are no magic rules. All you have is like four people in a room holding instruments, and they all have issues with each other. So you almost can't hide behind anything.
Yeah.
And it's but yeah, I'm just mean it can be it depends on your status quo, and then what the show is, you might have to change a lot, and so that can be tough.
Yeah. I so what you just said, like how you write and where you kind of live, that's where how I write and where I live when I write my stuff. I am like super dramedy head, so it's cool to it's cool to hear, and it's not a thing that we get to see a lot of anymore. You know, like we don't get to see like romantic dramedy comedies grounded in realism. We just don't like it's like not being made by the studio system anymore. Like really, it's being seen in like film festivals, and maybe they're being bought out of there. But when was the last time? I mean, maybe the one with the lady that's really popular. My God, my brain.
What was it?
She was in Euphoria. Uh, she was blonde. Um, she's in she was in
Like,
White Lotus season 1.
Sydney Sweeney?
Sydney
Oh,
Sweeney. Yeah, yeah. She did that rom com that people liked, but there aren't. I mean, like, have you seen any rom coms coming out of the studio system?
oh, I thought you meant like I was talking about 1 hour like dramedies, which there are.
Oh yeah,
Um,
sure. Yeah.
rom-coms coming out. Hmm. There have to be some. I can't trust my own radar.
I don't. I mean, yeah. I mean, like, I know they're not the same thing, but I kind of like equate dramedy with rom com because they feel the same in like parts, even though they're not the same at all. But yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway, so when coming from Iowa, was there any like culture shock when you arrived in LA? Was it totally crazy, or did you kind of feel at home?
Yeah, I'm from Illinois. It's okay.
Oh,
They're both
Illinois. Sorry.
a lot of just a lot of it's a big expanse of corn.
No,
And
no, I spoke the wrong place, so I apologize.
it's okay. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm really proud I'm from the Midwest, and I loved growing up in Skokie, but then yeah, I like only had sweatshirts. I was not prepared for because a lot of LA kids feed into USC,
Mm,
and they were just on another level. They all seemed so much more mature, and they had cool clothes and like short skirts, and I just wasn't used to hot weather. I was always sweaty. I was sweaty all the time.
oh yeah, sweaty.
Yeah, it was just like I was sweating, and I didn't have a car. And USC, where it is right now, is there. They've built up a lot of stuff around it, but there was like nothing. There was just like a Jack in the Box. There was nowhere to eat, and everyone goes off campus on the weekends because they would all go home because they're from LA. And then
Right.
me and some other out of towner kids. A lot of the film school was not from LA. Um, I don't know, like the food places, like the cafeteria would be closed. I remember eating like cans of tuna on a Saturday, like alone,
Oh
and I
wow.
had no car to go. So I hated LA. I wanted to like transfer because I was only in this one part. Like it was like LA sucks when you don't have a car. And then, as with all things, like you find your people. I made friends with other people with similar interests. And then I got a car my sophomore year and was like, oh, LA has some cool stuff, it turns out. And then now it's home.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I've been in New York for my whole life, so it's not like I had like a culture shock because I've always been around like a million people and everything's always been loud and fast. So that's cool. But that's also apparently like a person from the place that the industry is in is apparently also like weird, like especially in New York. Um,
Mm.
because it took me a while to like meet someone that was like native to New York working a lot, and like everyone else was from everywhere else. And I think that is one of the most beautiful things about our industry is that it like New York is, and like LA and like Chicago and these places, they are melting pots, but our industry is one of the largest melting pots that you can find. You literally have everyone, every race, creed, culture, religion, gender expression, um, and it's beautiful. It's fucking incredible. And I feel like our industry gets a really bad rap a lot of the time.
Mm.
We get shit on a lot. We get attributed and lumped in with our most outrageous and personalities of people, um, when we're just working class people that are trying to make our like health insurance and our pension credits, and just trying to make our weeks. And um and that's the awesome part of it, is that everyone comes from everywhere, and we all are trying to do the same thing. We're all trying to make this magic art that is impossible and ethereal and almost never works out, but when it does, it's special.
Right. It all started with a dream, and
Yeah.
it's true. Like you have to expect nothing is going to work out and then be surprised when one thing does. And that's like, you just need one thing, you
Yeah.
know? Where are you from in New York?
I'm from Long Island, and that's where I currently am now. My wife and I moved back out of the city and moved out to the suburbs to have our family and our yard and our dog and our kids. So I'm here now, but I'm in New York City almost every single day.
Oh, are you going in there? What are you going into the city for? What brings you in?
Oh, so I work a lot at the Metropolitan Opera. So I'm a professional sword fighter.
I didn't know
And
that.
yeah, I'm a professional sword fighter and stage combatant. I'm trained in all the stuff. So I'm trained in almost every bladed weapon, most guns, hand to hand, which is why I did all my own shit on the tick, is because I knew how to do it. And they were very surprised. Like, I remember when the AD was like, we got you this stunt double, and I was like, can I do it myself? And then they were like, you want to do it yourself? They're like, can you do it yourself? And I was like, yeah. um, but so I do that. So I've been working for the Metropolitan Opera for 12 years. And they are a nonprofit, and because of them, I just had my student loans forgiven, which was a huge deal, and really amazing. But they also, they're also like a really interesting family because they're in rep. So you'll be in two shows at the same time and in rehearsal for a show during the day. So you're constantly just fighting, working, fighting, acting, going like crazy. And then yeah, because you don't go in person for TV and film stuff anymore. Like all the auditions are tapes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of homework.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
which is fine for me now that I have my two kids, but I miss it. I miss being in person, and like on set, like they're still reducing who like from the writing staff gets to go and like all that stuff because of the money savings that they got during the pandemic and stuff. And I just miss the people, right? Like I miss
Yeah.
meeting everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and there's an energy when you're in the room with the performer that sometimes can't be translated in like a video audition.
right.
Yeah, it is nice to be in the room. Yeah. That's crazy you're a swordsman and you built your own computer?
Yeah, I'm real. So I thought I was only going to be doing touring regional Shakespeare for my entire career, and part of that is you have to learn how to sword fight. So I learned how to fight as actively as I took, my acting training. I'm a classically trained actor, so I also thought that I was going to be a poet, and that's it for my entire career. And it turns out that I haven't done any of that. because I've been doing TV and film. I love TV and film. I miss Shakespeare. I'm wearing him on my shirt right now, and his cup. I've got a Shakespeare insult mug as my like show mug. I like both. Like I'm a nerd, and I like to do sport, and I like to read, and I like to talk about politics and exchange ideas and have a big beard and be loud and drink beer and and all that stuff.
Yes, you
Um,
contain multitudes.
I contain multitudes.
The original Shakespeare stan.
Oh man, I fucking love Shakespeare. I love all the old stuff. I love Greek so much. Like I love just the so classic, like good versus evil, and like heroes, the hero structure. It's why I like professional wrestling too,
Yeah.
is because it's such an easy, clear, like you got a heel and you have a face. And I just like stories, I guess.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Um, I was listening to Las Culturistas, that podcast, and Matt Rogers was talking about just like we need to bring back those villains, like where it was like a clear good and evil. And is it just a big trend of like, the villain was yourself, and that can work sometimes, but it's like, where is Cruella? Like the like just the Disney villains that made coats out of puppies. Like
I
there's
know.
a villain. I love a
I
villain.
know every villain's got to have like a redemption story or like a
Right.
reason for their trauma now. And it's like I don't need like it's why Heath Ledger's Joker was so perfect, right? Is because
Mm,
he also fucked with that convention with the do you want to know how I got these scars stuff? Like
mm.
when that first happened, I was like, no. Oh man, that sucks. But then when it happened again, I was like, oh fuck yeah. Like because right around then is when that all started to happen, where it was like every bad guy had a backstory, and while that isn't a bad thing, it was always like some tragedy. And while that's probably true, let the audience make that up. Like we just want to see them either win or get overcome, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
We
I like
are,
story makes them scarier. Like
yeah,
it can be tragic. Like the Kingpin flashback episode of Daredevil is like one of my favorite episodes. And it was like, oh my God, it makes him even more frightening in the
right,
present. But it's not, I don't want, like, it didn't make me feel so sad for him that I couldn't still be scared of him.
right.
It's just a measure of like grounding your villains, I think.
Yeah, because when the backstory shows that they could have chosen to rise above it, and it's a choice to not to, like that, like that's what that episode did. Like, was it's so yeah, it makes them so much fucking scarier. Like I could have turned a corner, but I was like, I'm not gonna. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
How far
so
will you run
cool.
out? Yeah.
So Jenny, we're kind of at the point where you need to run. Do you want to
Okay.
run? Yeah.
I can chat a bit more.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just wanted to check in, like I don't want to keep you from your top secret work.
No, I have to be somewhere at 5:30 that I didn't know about until it's been a day, but
Yeah.
all
All right.
good. Um, uh, what else? We both want better villains.
Well, better villains. What's your top 3 favorite movies?
Oh my gosh.
No, it's so I'm not going to ask you for your best one. So my top 3 are
Okay.
The Birdcage,
Oh,
Waterboy,
awesome.
and Gladiator.
Right, right. Oh, so on Daisy, that's not- the first Gladiator.
Yeah.
Um, on Daisy, we had like a big whiteboard in the production office, and the office PA would have like different questions on it. And if you had time, you would like everyone would write on the board. And one day it was like, what's the movie you say is your favorite movie, and what's your actual favorite movie? And it's like I love Paper Moon. That's what I'm like. That's my favorite movie. I think my real favorite movie is Jurassic Park.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's so I used to say Gladiator is my favorite movie, and I do really
I
like it a
know.
lot,
Of
but
course you
my
love it.
actual favorite movie is The Birdcage. I have watched that movie more than any other movie in the world that I've ever seen. So yeah, and I would never say it because I was like, I can't say it. That's embarrassing for some reason. I can't say The Birdcage. But yeah, so yeah, but that's totally cool. I was hoping that you would do that.
Yeah, yeah. I love those.
Who all right, so who got you, like, what lit that fire, right? Like, what did you see or what did you read that made you be like, I want to do that? Like, that's what I want.
American Beauty
Oh, fuck yeah.
when I was in high school. I was like, the same trip where I got Memento, I also got American Beauty, and I had just seen Memento. It was like around the same time. And oh my God, I loved American Beauty so much. That's so to talk about a dark comedy, dark dramedy. I didn't think I knew the word dramedy then, but like, oh my God, just the tone of that. And it was so beautiful and so funny. And I was like, I want to make movies that make people disturbed and laugh and cry all in the same movie and surprised and really get deep into these characters' lives. And I yeah, so I guess I was like, oh, and I wrote features and stuff when I came out, and then my career took a turn into TV, and that's
TV.
been awesome, and recurring, which is important.
It is
Yeah,
important.
Beauty.
American Beauty, that's a
Mhm.
fucking great movie.
Oh,
A great movie. So I have two answers, right? So the first movie that I saw that made me want to be like, I was like, maybe I'd like to do this was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze. It was just a thing that I really loved when I was a kid, and I didn't
yeah.
understand like why I loved it so much because I'd seen other stuff, right? Like other stuff in that vein. Um, like I was watching cartoons and all that shit. But like for some reason, like just the storyline of that, um, of that specific one, and just like watching them, maybe because like I was like homeless, and like I was in foster care, and like maybe it was like they live in the sewer and they have a hard time, and they're overcoming it. Um, that was probably what it was, but like, and they had each other, and they only had each other, and like it was like me and a couple of other kids in my neighborhood, and that like only had each other. So it was a thing that really resonated. But I can say that now. At the time, I had no idea why. And then when I got into the industry, it was Pulp Fiction.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah,
That
that's a big one too.
really, yeah, like I remember seeing, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, what the fuck is this? Um, and like, but in the best possible way, because it's like because it fucks with you, it challenges you, it doesn't make any sense, it jumps around a lot, and then it all worked, and then it all makes sense, and then like what's in the briefcase, like what is in the fucking briefcase, you never know, and it's like all these little like special bits that came together to create just like insanity that made sense. Really, I was like, oh god, that makes sense to me. Like that's the chaos, making chaos make sense. Yeah. So
They're two very different movies.
yeah, no, two very different movies, but I think that's who we are. Like that's who we are in the industry, is that we love so much shit.
I
Like we're
know.
not, yeah,
Yeah,
we're
like
not
I
specific.
always like so Jaws is one of my most watched, and then I probably Royal Tenenbaums. I watched just as much. Couldn't It's like you can love creatures and and like these uh hypertonal family stories. It's just there's room for it all. I loved that was really poignant about your connection with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and
Oh,
um looking back on it that way.
yeah, well, it's why the tick was so important, is because I was I was homeless when I saw the cartoon for the first time. So, and I felt weird. I felt so other and outside. I didn't belong. I didn't know any. I felt crazy all the time. And
Yeah.
then there were all these crazy fucking people in this show that they didn't make us. They didn't make sense a lot of the time. I'm gonna cry. Sorry. But like they all loved each other, right? And that was the foundation. So anything like that, anything that's like fucking nuts or like doesn't make sense to people, but the foundation of it all is love. Like, what's the Weird Al movie? UHF, right? Like, is that his movie where he's in the radio station?
I haven't seen that.
Weird Al Yankovic, but it's like, it's stuff like that. Like it's like the Dark Crystal, it's like, it's like Labyrinth.
Mhm.
It's these things. It's these things that like that they show you the darkness, and you walk into it, and then you can walk out, and you fight through. And but like love is the anchor. Yeah.
Yeah, that was such a great part of the Tick, where it was like this band of outcasts, and the Tick was always coming from a place of love, and Arthur was always so uncomfortable, and then he
Yeah.
had to get comfortable with himself, like through the love, sometimes unwanted love
Yeah.
of the Tick. It was
Yeah.
just, yeah.
But yeah, we pull things from everywhere, and we're multifaceted. I mean, you have to be like, I watch everything. I read as many scripts as I can, I because you want to take in as much as you can so that you can express human nature properly, like, yeah.
I include reality TV in that. I love reality TV. And like
Do
those
you?
are, yeah.
That's hard for me.
It's there's a
I
there's
will
a
say.
you should watch 90 Day Fiance. There's a lot of people going through some tough things from far away.
Yeah.
Which is like human experience, it just not having all been pre-written. And YouTube, just like windows into
Other
other people's
people's lives.
lives. That's what I mean.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think I have been too harsh on reality TV, because I'll watch certain types of reality TV and love it. Like, like I love a overly complicated cooking competition show. I will watch 1,000 of those, but like the Jersey Shore, while it was entertaining for what it was, like it makes me want to like cut my fucking body in half when I start watching it. But
Okay,
that
Long
is,
Island.
please stop that. Stop. I do live here. I basically see those types of people all the time. So,
Depends on the show. Depends on the show.
it
That's for
depends on the
sure.
show. I mean, but like um Love on the Spectrum is
Oh, we
incredible.
love it. Yeah, we just
Beautiful.
watched. I
Yeah.
follow them all on Instagram.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. I love their updates. I love seeing the relationships flower. Like oh, it's so good. I wish there was more of it.
Me too. Well, there's the UK version also that you can watch.
I don't think we watched Australia, but I didn't know there was a UK.
Let me Google that to make sure I'm not lying to you.
Oh, that's gonna be tonight.
Let's see if it's real. Is it
Oh.
real? Nope. It's Australia and the United States. There has to be, okay. No, people want there to be a UK version of the show. Makes sense.
I
It's a
do.
good job.
Yeah.
I do. Me.
I do. Me. Give it now.
Um,
Yeah.
what advice? Let's end with this question, which I always like to ask people that are working at a high level. What advice would you give to a young writer coming out of school now, because it is a completely different field. Like, it's remote, it's harder to network, it's harder to meet people. How would you break in now, knowing what you do now?
Oh, it's so hard. I
Yeah,
just don't want to sugarcoat how rough it is right now. I'm sure you guys saw there was like a Hollywood Reporter article last week that writing jobs are down 42% from
yeah,
last year. It's really tough. Um, but the song remains the same, where you need to hone your voice and not just I feel like I meet a lot of writers who, like, they write one pilot and this is their pilot. It's like, no, you need to write like 10 pilots. I feel like the one that really popped for me was definitely beyond number 9, and not that that's the case for everyone, but it's like, don't stop there. And then, like, even I, like, just wrote a pilot, nothing happened with it, and I'm like, I'm glad I wrote that. Like, I got that story out, it got my wheels turning more. And but it's like, yeah, it's just like blah. And that's like I said, you have to expect most things not to pan out in the business. But so it's really just like, write a pilot, write it again, share it with your friends writing you respect, whose opinions you respect. They don't have to be writers. Producers give like the best notes because they're not as in it too. And then rewrite, join writers groups. And I think it's not as much as it was before, but just for knowing other people in the business who can connect you with possible job openings, even if it's like starting at an agency. Like, I
mm,
have friends who started as like agents assistants who like eventually became upfront. I really want to be a writer. Here's my script. And they did a really good job being an assistant. It's always like, do a really good job at the job you have for at least a year, you know? And then that kind of parlayed into the script being shared, and then they became TV writers. And the same can be said for production offices, but a lot of those are in LA, New York. So it kind of, I think, still starts with a move unless you submit from afar to like fellowships, competitions, which I'm not as up to speed on where those are at now. I know, unfortunately, a lot have been shuttered, but some still exist. So it's just, yeah, write and write again.
yeah. Because I've been hearing from a few of my friends that are in rooms now that the showrunners get like agent submissions from Oscar winners, Emmy winners, like just constantly, like just people that maybe shouldn't be in like a specific type of room because of the work that they have had in the past. Like, they should be creating their own show, are like, now, like, there is not as much work, so like they're like, we'll work in any fucking room. I've won 4 Oscars. I'm gonna work on your hour-long drama about like high school in,
Yeah.
Birmingham, or whatever it is, right? Like, um, so it's a really interesting time because it's happening in uh, in my world too. Is that because there's less stuff, people that wouldn't take roles
Yeah.
like whatever, for whatever reason, are now, and it's pulling opportunities away from people that maybe haven't been on a bunch of episodes of TV before, or are trying to book their first like guest star, like 1 day guest star role, and
Mhm.
they're being offered to and accepted by people that normally wouldn't say yes to them. So it's
Right.
there's this vacuum that hasn't been there before, when it hasn't been like a strike. It's
Right.
weird.
Because of the
Yeah,
contraction. Yeah,
yeah,
and everyone just wants to work. So, like, the caliber of talent that's available is obscene,
yes.
because they're making less. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you just need the one thing, that doesn't mean it won't come along. And I have to believe it's going to get better. Like, we are
It
on an
must.
word. They need content. So
They
someone,
do. I mean, there's so many places that need stuff. It's it's wild to me that, I mean, it's not wild to me because that's how it's always kind of worked, but like the same 25 people are all doing the same shit for everyone. And it's like at some point it's like, when are people going to be like, I don't want to see that fucking person anymore, or like I don't want to like hear that voice anymore. Like I don't want to hear those words anymore. Like I'd like to have, like, I'll let you go. We're really close, but like Ryan Coogler's thing that's freaking out everybody now, because of his deal where like, so there's a bunch of shit in the trades for his new movie The Sinner, where like
Oh, I want to see
apparently
that.
yeah, like Me Too, it looks awesome and it's
It looks
gotten
good.
incredibly well reviewed, but it's his film. He wrote it, he's the director, he's the conceiver of it, and his deal with Warner Brothers has the at least in the trades, people freaking the fuck out, be be because he gets his movie back after 25 years, and that's never happened before. So execs are like going publicly saying like, this is going to destroy the industry because the studios can't keep the IP forever.
Mm.
And it's like, I don't know if that's going to destroy the industry. I think it'll change it for how it currently exists, where, like the creatives create for you and then you keep all their shit forever. It's going to pull back like monetary power a bit more towards the creative if more people can make these types of deals.
Mm.
Like if you can eventually own all of your past work, then you can be the one to be like, it'll go on Netflix now, right?
I'm gonna feed it into the
Yeah,
AI.
I'm gonna feed it in. Yeah.
So,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, that's a unique deal. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, and it's really cool. And I don't know if it'll ever happen again because they're making such a big deal of it. But I would love to see more of shit like that, because it makes a more healthy ecosystem, and it makes a better give and take. I feel.
Yeah. I mean,
All right, cool.
yeah. Let's go see Sinners.
Let's go be sinners. Go. All right, Jenny, thank you so much for being here. This was an incredible conversation, and it was so much fun.
Yeah, I had a great time. Thank
Good.
you
I'm
so much
glad.
for having me, Josh.
Of course. And I'll speak to you soon. Have a great rest of your day.
Okay, you too.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Hey everybody. All right. So thanks so much for being here. I am going to end the show here today because we ran over time and we had an incredible conversation. But I will tell you that I just watched I watched the second episode of The Last of Us, and I have played the games, and it was still as heart-wrenching and horribly devastating as it was when I first saw it the first time. Um, Joel, as a character and what he represented to me, and most people that played the game, was like a paternal figure, like he was your father. So watching him get murdered was incredibly difficult. Um, Compelling, wonderful, and understandable for the story that they're trying to tell. But fuck, it was hard to see that again. Um, but it was wonderful. It's such a dichotomy. It was so wonderful to see it. Um, and then yeah, and that's for what I'm feeling quickly. Um, Shit's fucking crazy. It really is. Um, People's student loans are going to start to get just like ripped back, maybe. Um, the the courts are being ignored. Um, it feels like every day we're heading into a point of no return when it comes to our democracy. And I know that I have been very steadfast about positivity and hopefulness. And while that hasn't left, it just seems like it's going to be a harder and harder fight every day. Um, Fighting misinformation and seeing what the actual play is versus what we're being told, and all of that stuff has gotten a lot harder. It's gotten a lot harder to see what the fuck is going on, and how the end goal is going to be met, and if we're gonna have another president after this. I would like there to be. I would like us to progress forward again. I would like us to be world leaders again. I don't want to be laughing stock country. I don't want to be laughing stock people. I want to be vibrant and productive and lovely. I mean, I know that it's hard to be lovely a lot of the time, but I think America is lovely, and we have a lot to offer the world and each other. We are a vibrant community of immigrants and many types of people, and that's what has always made us great, is our differences, and those should be celebrated and not attacked and not deported and not vilified and written out of history. I am concerned, and I'm hoping that we can right the ship, that we can get back on course. I think we will. We have a long history of fucking up and then trying to correct it. Sometimes we overcorrect, sometimes we undercorrect, but in this moment, at this point in time, I still believe that we are going to do the right thing as a country. It's going to take more pain, I guarantee it, before people start to actually take action or try to get things changed, especially in places where people aren't looking at things right. They don't see what's going on, that are operating from a place of hate and pain, and it's our turn now, when it's everybody's turn. It's not just my turn or your turn or my team or your team. It's we're all in this together. There's no way that we can't be. There's no going back to a time where we're isolated or alone. We're global. And we're either unified in the world, or we're broken and exploitable in the world. And right now we are screaming towards being broken and exploitable, when we could just be unified, joyful, and moving forward in a positive way. I think we will. I think we will. All right. That's how I'm feeling. That's what I'm watching. Thank you so much for tuning in to the show tonight. We have gone for almost an hour and a half, and I really appreciate you being here. For those of you watching the replay, thank you so much for watching the replay. I hope you enjoyed this. For those of you listening to this on the audio version of the podcast, thank you for listening to me talk all this time. And I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Jenny Klein, because she's fucking great. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. If you're watching on TikTok, send me a flower, or follow me, or send me a like. To my Instagram people, thank you. I love you. We're almost at 25,000, which is wild to me, and I appreciate it. To my people watching on Facebook, thanks for watching on Facebook. Share this shit and comment, like it, love it. I don't know what else to say. Have a great night. I love you. Be safe.